Serious
Oh, wait,
business.
last thing.
Yes.
Did you see the movie yet?
Which one?
Michael.
No, not yet.
You haven't
not
seen
yet,
it. So
not
maybe
yet.
this week?
Maybe, yes.
Okay.
Yes. I'm going to try to catch
It'll be
up.
a nice little distraction. You'll enjoy it.
Right.
I some people I know who are of age, like 60, that I know that went and saw it, that definitely were like big, super big Mike fans. Loved it.
Okay.
Well, I just told my parents yesterday that they have to see it, and then my dad hadn't heard much about it, and then he ended up watching Jafar Jackson interviews for 3 hours and is mesmerized that this person exists.
Well, when you talk about rabbit hole, MJ's gonna go down it. He's gonna do
MJ,
some.
my dad, or
Yeah.
MJ,
No,
Michael Jackson?
Your father.
Oh, yeah.
He's gonna go father.
Yeah.
He's gonna go down it.
Father? You mean like mother? Mother is here.
Yo, I saw. Speaking of Michael, did you know that Michael's dad, wanted the kids to call him Joseph? That's why they did that in the movie.
Oh, it's not disrespect. It's that he asked them to.
That's what I'm hearing. I never heard this before because he
that.
wanted to delineate his parental role away from, like, specifically this is a business relationship. Wait for it. You know, Joe Jackson has a daughter outside the relationship.
I'm going to say this. No, I didn't know that, but I'm not hugely surprised.
Right.
Who lived 5 miles away from the family.
Okay.
What's her name?
I don't recall that daughter's name.
Okay.
Anyway, she called him Daddy. And those kids called him Joseph. And there's a story going around on the internet. I don't know if it's true.
But it's on the internet.
But it's on the internet. When Janet met her sister,
This
person. Giovanni? Yeah, Giovanni Jackson.
Okay.
When Janet met this sister, Giovanni said, yes, Daddy.
She was like, who's Daddy?
And Janet was so upset that she left talking to her. Like,
Janet was so upset that 30 years later, she slapped Paris Jackson right in the face. Do you remember that story?
That was on video, wasn't it?
I don't think was it on video?
Remember there was a video of, like, Paris and her arguing at the gate of
I do remember. I have a visual of something.
Right?
I don't remember
if it was a slap. But I do have a visual of them
arguing at
and
the
people
gate.
said, I just remember the internet and people.
Right.
Wow.
So anyway.
That's a lot. You know,
But I didn't know that. And now when you're watching the film and they're calling him Joseph,
yeah.
there's some context.
I was talking to my dad yesterday. My dad's here, by the way, and he's going to be a guest by request from our audience. My dad will be on our Patreon this week in the studio.
All right.
But we were having a conversation about what you were saying about, like, sort of your empathy for Joe Jackson in being a black man in Gary, Indiana, raising kids, and how you know, flawed man, the way you were comparing him to your father in different ways. But the era that he's from, right?
And I was just basically saying, I know who that man is.
Yeah, you're saying it's very familiar to me.
Yeah.
And you're able to have some level, I think, of empathy because of that. But he is, you know, clearly the villain sort of in the movie, right? And I think the Jacksons have decided as an estate, like, we're cool with Joe Jackson being the villain.
Yeah.
Because Michael ain't good. Michael we're going to keep as shiny as we can, A, because we love him, and large B, because it's setting records and it continuing to make money that's insane. So we were talking about Joe Jackson, and I was like, do you realize, though, for as flawed and terrible as he clearly was in some ways, when he sat there and said, I am not going to have my kids working in a steel mill the way I am, do you realize the level of success that it worked out with? It's not just Michael. We're talking about Michael, and Michael's...
The new LinkedIn Hiring Pro can't undo your last hire. The empty seat. Who is actually just that, an empty chair in your office because you couldn't find someone to fill it. So it just sat there costing you money with all its fancy ergonomic features. But LinkedIn Hiring Pro can make it easy to fill that seat with the right candidate. With nearly 60% of businesses finding someone to interview in the first week alone. Hire right the first time with LinkedIn Hiring Pro. Post a free job today at linkedin.com/quality.
A lot of problems.
See those kids.
Bro, have you seen, I've been in the rabbit hole on everyone's social.
Okay.
I'm seeing everybody's stories, okay? They are all richer than God. Every one of them. There are Jacksons you've never heard of in mansions, okay? Like, as much as he is flawed and did bad things, Joe Jackson made his entire family rich. Not only that, have you listened to them all talk? They're all, Jafar Jackson, these kids are rich and educated and well-to-do.
Yeah.
I've been watching the interviews with Prince Jackson moving around, Michael's son. I got to tell you, they all come off as like seemingly adjusted and like, I'm just saying, you got to give some flowers for how it ended up working out in terms of if the goal was, I want my family to have more than I did. A mission accomplished, I'd say.
Well, I think Laura, I think the numbers are after Mike's passing. So they spent $40 million on This Is It.
On the movie?
On the tour. Remember, that was a tour. That
then
became
you mean
a doc.
to build the tour that they never went on.
That they never went on. So they were $40 million. They put the doc out and made that money back right away, right? Whoever was involved in that. Then they went on to make some hundreds of millions off of the doc. Michael's estate and music and whatever he owns has made, I think, like 3 or 4 billion since he passed. Just since he passed, by the way. So now the movie recharges that catalog again.
Completely. And now there's a greenlit sequel, which we'll see if it happens.
Because greenlit, I mean, you're in TV now. Greenlit doesn't mean it's coming out.
Let me explain.
Talk to us.
Ebro, let me explain.
Talk to us.
No, I assume it means that
it can happen.
They are open to it.
Okay.
Can you create the story?
Yeah.
Where are you willing to go with it?
You know what I think? But like how much they're going to continue to run away from the allegation?
They can't. If not, if you have a sequel.
Come on.
Not if you have a sequel.
Because remember, the family put in money into the company, so they're technically part owners of the movie.
But Laura,
so they have a say.
Remember though, the FBI investigated Michael for a long time and found nothing.
Okay.
So they could easily do the FBI investigation.
Sure, they could do that.
They could do the whole Mike press conference when they made him, he was talking about them looking at his body and looking at his genitals and all that.
Yeah.
They can do all that. They can do obviously his beefing with the label.
Right.
Right. I mean, hell, they may play into the conspiracies around,
Tommy
Mottola and all the hits on, people trying to take Mike out and shape him as a bad guy because he owned so much of that catalog and they wanted to make him look bad so that they could.
And buying the Beatles catalog.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, he owned so much of that ATV thing. And people would eat that up.
And
I hear you. I'm just curious to see if they're actually going to go there because they spend so much money reshooting to make everything completely go away.
I wonder what they took. But what did they do then? So they did all kinds of stuff in it and then took it out?
Yes.
Well, maybe they could use that in the sequel, though, if they decide to open it back up.
If the family allows it.
And will people be satisfied? The public who's angry about the movie, though, is not going to be satisfied if they get into it in the sequel, but it ends with him being exonerated. That's not going to be you're not going to please the people who have decided Michael Jackson's guilty.
No, and by the way, if you're thinking you are,
congratulations.
Yeah, it's not
you,
going to happen.
and by the way, if I'm looking at the books, I'm not even thinking about those people.
They can't because they're not going to look at that.
Why we're successful without you naysayers and negative Nancy's? Like we're doing numbers. I'm driving around all. It was a beautiful day over the weekend. You know what people are playing this summer? Michael effing Jackson, bro.
He's having it's going to be a huge Michael Jackson summer, which is
Absolutely.
crazy. Again, just like in 2009 when he passed. Yo, you weren't at Hot yet, so you wouldn't have been there. Were you at the Apollo when Michael passed? When we went up there?
No, I didn't go up there. I didn't go up.
That is one of the great. I wish I had full video of it. I among others, it wasn't just me. It was like me. I think C, Syph, and a few others. We went to the Apollo in the days after Michael passed because this is when we were a real radio station and did community things. We would do things like team up with other huge, important places in New York, like the Apollo. And we us and Kiss supplied DJs, and they did basically like all-day tours where they were, or several hours, where they would allow the entire Apollo to fill. And then we would have a DJ and host on stage and basically just have a Michael Jackson celebration with the crowd. Yo, it's one of my favorite things I've ever DJ'd in my life. So I got to play one of the Michael sets for the Apollo crowd going. Yeah. And they had one of his gloves. They had the glove on the stage. Nice. It was awesome.
Did you, was that vinyl when you was doing vinyl? Did you do vinyl?